So you were recently on the Down the Security Rabbit Hole podcast, and the title that they gave was Cybersecurity Starts and Ends with Assets. So I think a good place to tie up the concepts we've discussed so far is to talk about that phrase, cybersecurity starts and ends with assets. How does this concept that cybersecurity starts and ends with assets help us to reframe the challenges facing cybersecurity in the coming years? So, we've talked a lot about, explaining to the stakeholders why you're doing this. And so let's sort of explain to ourselves why you're doing this. Well, how does this, change the way that we think of securing networks, securing organizations, securing sort of large scale businesses or federal agencies?
Yeah, traditionally, we have attempted to solve security problems at the edge.
Yeah.
Right. Because we can't go out to every single device. We don't know what is on every single device, and we can't necessarily touch every single device. Right. And the owner might not let us do that. And so what do? We draw a little perimeter around our network, and we hope that everything goes through a single choke point or a few choke points, and then we install security controls like IPS or firewall at those choke points. And hopefully that's good. But that is an old paradigm that doesn't work anymore as devices have become mobile.
Right.
Or as networks that used to be physically isolated became connected to the internet. Like I'm thinking OT environments specifically, right? Before 2005, they were never connected to the internet.
Yeah.
They were all air gapped, and that's, quickly not becoming the case.
Yeah. Previous guests mentioned that it was like defending a castle with a moat around it. And now we're trying to defend a bunch of tents that are all over the forest here. And you have to, they have to all be equally strong, but you don't have that perimeter wall thing going on anymore. So that's a huge challenge.
So when you're thinking about asset, security ends with assets, like what does the adversary want to do? The adversary wants to exfiltrate data from a device. The adversary wants to ransom data on a device. The adversary wants to create an outage on a device or devices, right? So at the end of the day, it's good to defend the network, but the end goal for the adversary is typically the device, the asset. And so that's where it ends. Now, at the beginning of it, and this is where on the defensive side, we often fall short, is when you have a full asset inventory, you can actually become proactive. Right? I'm not saying you will be proactive, but you have a chance of becoming proactive with your security program.
Right.
If you're thinking about it, next time an O-Day comes out and you have no idea which devices are potentially vulnerable, if you had a full asset inventory of a cyber asset inventory, very specific term here, cyber asset inventory, you would be able to go out there and identify which are the devices that are potentially vulnerable, and you have a punch list of what to go after. Or if you have an incident, like how many times are you dealing with an incident and you find out, oh, there's this device that's compromised, and then the next statement is, what is that? Or who owns that? Or also very common, I thought that was decommissioned.
Yeah. What's that still doing here?
Right. Exactly. Right. So for this reason, we say that security starts with asset inventory as well. I mean, we could talk about like CIS controls and NIST, it just so happens that asset inventory is also listed as like, first and second controls in these frameworks. But, concretely, like if you have a full asset inventory and that's also timely, up to date, you actually have a fighting chance of becoming proactive rather than always being on the back foot and always being met with this unhappy surprise. What? What is it? What is that?
Running from room to room with a box full of Band-Aids. You're just like, you just keep sticking things and patching holes and Right.
Or like, oh, who owns that thing? Wait, no. She left the company a year ago. So who owns it now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a stomach drop feeling, I imagine. Oh no, on my watch, no less. Have you seen Work Bites, the new security awareness training series from Infosec? Our team produced this series with 3 E's in mind: making security awareness training entertaining, engaging, and educational. Just go to infosecinstitute.com/free to learn more about this hilarious office comedy. And hey, let us know what you think about it.